You lie in bed, eyes open to the dark, not asleep, not awake, just waiting. And so does the universe. It waits in the folds of space-time, in the hum beneath atoms, in the pause between heartbeats, for someone to ask the question, for someone like you. What if sleep wasn't a retreat from thought, but a deeper descent into it? Before there were theories, there were stories. Before there was science, there was a boy looking up at the moon, asking why it followed him home. He had no telescope, no equations, just a question, pure, luminous, unspoiled by the need to be right. This boy lived 10,000 years ago, or maybe yesterday. He had no name, or maybe it was yours. What drives the first question is not brilliance, it's loneliness, the kind that sees a sky full of stars and asks, am I part of this? In that wondering, the seed of all science is sown.
It didn't mean to start a war. Galileo just wanted to see further. So he took glass, sanded it, bent it, and gave the sky a new name. The moons of Jupiter. 4 of them dancing around a planet that was not Earth. It shattered not the heavens, but the idea that the heavens were unmoving, eternal, divine. He showed the world. The sky is not sacred, it is observable. But in revealing truth, he betrayed power. They forced him to recant, but he whispered still, and yet it moves. Truth doesn't need to shout, it waits. The apple fell, but that's not the story. The real story is the silence in Newton's heart. He wasn't chasing fame. He was escaping plague, solitude in a collapse. In the quiet of that exile, a deeper logic surfaced, one that stitched together earth and sky. Gravity, not a force of control, a force of belonging. The apple fell because it was never separate from the stars, and neither are you. What happens when you can no longer trust your senses? Democritus spoke of atoms long before microscopes existed. He imagined the world as made of pieces too small to see. He was laughed at. Then, centuries later, the microscope blinked, and the void was filled with motion. Atoms, mostly empty, but dancing. You are not solid. You are space and vibration and organized chaos. And still, you feel whole. She held death in her hands and called it discovery. Radium, polonium, elements that glowed in the dark, like grief, like longing, like love that outlives the body. Marie worked beside Pierre until he was gone. Then she kept working, kept glowing. Science wasn't her job. It was her mourning, her prayer. What if understanding isn't cold? What if it's the warmest thing we have, when nothing else makes sense? You imagine Mars as silent, red, and lifeless. But once, maybe, it held rivers, and rivers remember. Not in words, but in the groove they leave behind, like scars, like lullabies. The Curiosity rover touched down and whispered with its wheels, "Are you still listening?" Martian soil releases a scent when disturbed, Petrichor's twin, long orphaned. Rain never came, but the memory remains. Even planets mourn what they once held. We think only humans dream, but trees, they slow, they rest, they move, not across fields, but within them. At night, their leaves droop, their sap slows, their roots hum quietly. What if forests aren't silent? What if they speak in rhythms too slow for you to hear? Science found sleep not only in brains, but in bark. You're not so different from the oak outside your window. You too need darkness to become whole. Then they mirror in the mushroom, mycelium and thought. Beneath the forest floor, a network, older than speech, wiser than instinct. Fungi connect trees like neurons. They warn, they share, they remember. Some call it the wood wide web, but maybe it's older than the web. Maybe it's the blueprint. Mushrooms are not just food, they are mirrors. And when we take them, gently, reverently, they show us thought does not need a skull. In the mangroves of Southeast Asia, a strange thing happens. Thousands of fireflies light up, together, perfectly. No central command, no leader, just rhythm. Science calls it entrainment, synchrony, phase coupling, but maybe it's something simpler. The deep desire to be seen, to blink when others blink, to glow when it's dark. The whale that sang alone, 52 hertz and loneliness in nature. They called it the loneliest whale, 52 hertz. No other whale seemed to hear its song. It wandered the Pacific, calling into the deep. Scientists followed its trail, captivated, not because it was rare, but because it was relatable. Sometimes, the greatest mysteries are just echoes of your own voice, trying, endlessly, to be understood. No two snowflakes are alike. Science proved it, geometry declared it. But the deeper truth is more unsettling. They begin from the same materials, the same conditions, and still, they diverge. Why? Because even nature, even water, even cold, allows for imperfection. What if uniqueness isn't designed? What if it's the inevitable result of being alive? I think the moon is distant, passive, but it moves oceans, stretches crust, pulls blood. Not metaphorically, biochemically. You are not independent of celestial bodies. You are rhythm. You are pulled, you are tied. And the moon, that quiet rock, is your oldest companion, watching, pulling, never letting go. For decades, it was a ghost. The Higgs boson. We believed it was there, but belief is not knowledge. Until 2012, a flicker in the data. Mass, explained. Existence, justified. It wasn't grand, it wasn't loud, it was subtle, like many truths. The universe doesn't shout, it nudges and waits for you to notice. Halley's Comet visits once. The fossils whisper, memory in stone. Fossils do not speak in language. They speak in silence, in stillness, in the weight of being remembered. They are not bones, they are echoes. A leaf, a claw, a wing, pressed into the earth like a dream too deep to wake from. Science reads them like scripture. Layer by layer, we uncover not just life, but loss. And yet, there is comfort in that loss, because to fossilize is not to disappear. It is to endure. Your mark too might be small, but it may remain. 3 hearts, blue blood, a brain in each arm. The octopus is not alien, but it is not familiar. It dreams in ink. It solves problems in silence. It escapes from places no one thought to seal. Science once doubted their minds, until they played, until they remembered. Intelligence, it turns out, does not always wear a human face. Sometimes it wears suckers and camouflage. Sometimes it vanishes, just to remind you that it was there. You measure time in hours, days, years. But the earth breathes in millennia. Mountains rise like yawns, oceans retreat like slow sighs, and somewhere in that rhythm, you appeared. Not as a mistake, not as an accident, but as a blink, a beautiful, tragic blink. Deep time does not rush. It waits, as it always has, as it always will. You are not made of stars. You are made of star death. Iron in your blood, forged in a furnace that exploded before Earth was born. Calcium in your bones, carved from the ash of dying giants. You are not just light. You are what light leaves behind when it collapses. Every time you breathe, remember, something once died for you to be alive. They spin because they were torn apart, yet in their spinning, they became art. You too are made of what has been broken, and yet you orbit, you shimmer, you remain. Deep in caves untouched by sunlight, crystals grow, not forcefully, but with patience. Some take thousands of years to form a single inch. Yet they are perfect. Geometry born from pressure, darkness, and silence. If beauty can come from that, what might emerge from you? Given time, stillness, and the dark. 31. The fire inside ice. Europa and ocean worlds. Europa is a moon of Jupiter, cold, frozen, lifeless, they once said. But beneath its icy crust, ocean, and beneath the ocean, heat, vents that burn in the black. We've seen this before on Earth. Life begins not in light, but in warmth. So maybe, even there, in the quiet beneath the ice, something stirs, something becomes. Artlist.io. 32. The symphony of cells, music in biology. Cells do not hum, but they vibrate. Not metaphor, fact. Every atom, every bond, a note. Science once thought life was chemistry. Now it knows life is resonance. You are not just flesh. You are orchestra. Every heartbeat a drum, every breath a string. You are music, unaware of your song. 33. The planet with two suns, Kepler and impossibility. We thought it was fiction, Tatooine, fantasy. Then Kepler 16b appeared, a real planet, two suns, one sky. It should not work, and yet it does. Balance is not always symmetry. Sometimes it is simply adaptation. Your life may orbit contradictions, but it can still find equilibrium. 34. The glaciers sleep, memory in ice. Glaciers do not move fast, but they do move. Each layer traps air, a breath from another age, a record, a whisper. When we drill, when we listen, we hear stories older than writing, and we learn. The past is not gone, it is compressed, waiting for you to pay attention. 35. The light that bends, gravitational lensing. Light should move straight, but it doesn't. When it nears great mass, a galaxy, a cluster, it curves. Einstein called it warping, bending. The universe, it seems, is not hard-edged. It is soft, flexible. 37. The feather and the hammer. Gravity on the moon. They drop together. A feather, a hammer, On the moon, there is no air, no resistance, only gravity. So they fell as one. Galileo imagined it. Apollo 15 proved it. What we once guessed became real. Sometimes the universe doesn't just surprise you. Sometimes it confirms your quietest hopes. Science decoded it, slowly, with awe. Your body too has languages older than words. Notice how you tense in danger, how you soften in love. You speak, even in silence. Certain plants open every 5th day, others every 13. Why prime numbers? To avoid predators, to confuse cycles. This is not randomness, it is strategy. Nature does math, even if it never went to school. And maybe you too know more than you realize, built in, buried, waiting. Bats don't see with eyes, they see with sound. A chirp, a click, a bounce. From echoes they map the world, from silence they build shape. What if your own darkness holds echoes? What if every fear is also a map? One ant alone is blind, but 100 ants build bridges. They lay scent, they follow, they diverge, adapt, realign. Not because they're smart, because they're together. Sometimes intelligence isn't in the mind, it's in the pattern, in how we move with each other. Some butterflies shimmer with blue, but it's not pigment, it's structure. Their wings bend light, twist it. The color is illusion, a ghost of reflection. So much beauty built on absence. What else do you see that isn't really there? And does that make it less real? Or more? 43. The volcano's memory. Lava and renewal. Destruction. That's what we think of. But volcanoes also renew.
Artlist.io.
Ash makes soil rich. Lava becomes land. Destruction and creation. Braided. Like breath. Like seasons. Like you. Breaking and beginning again. 44. The salamander's secret. Regeneration and return. Salamanders can regrow limbs. Not magic, biology. Cells revert, reset, rebuild. What if you could do that with memory? With trust? With love? Maybe healing isn't about scar tissue. Maybe it's about remembering how to begin. 45. The spiral of galaxies, gravity and grace. Galaxies spin, not chaotically, but in spirals, graceful mathematical arms of stars. Why spirals? Because of gravity, momentum, time. Because the universe, even in its vastness, moves with elegance. So can you. 46. The quantum leap. Jumps without travel. Electrons don't slide between orbits, they leap. No path, no in-between. They are here, then there. Quantum mechanics calls it a jump. Life does too.
Artlist.io.
You don't always evolve slowly. Sometimes you change all at once. And that is natural. 47. The spider's code. Geometry in silk. A spider spins without ruler or compass, and yet perfect spirals. Tension, spacing, design, all from instinct. What if the order you're looking for isn't out there, but in you, waiting to be spun? 48. The slowness of coral, building reefs in patience. Coral builds cities beneath waves, tiny lives, steady work, millennia. Color and shape, rising from repetition. Slowness is not weakness. It is wisdom. The reef is proof even the quietest things can become vast. We speak of stars of light, but most of the universe is dark, cold, silent, vast. Does that make it meaningless or sacred? Not all silence is empty. Some is pregnant with potential. Some is rest. There is a sound left over from the beginning, the cosmic microwave background, a faint hum, a baby's breath from the birth of time. The universe has been singing ever since, softly, so softly. You can only hear it when everything else stops. You're not falling asleep. You are falling inward, into mystery, into memory, into the language of stars and cells and silence. Science does not promise safety, but it does promise awe. And maybe that's all you need now. Awe, to soften your breath, to close your eyes, to let the hour drift away like stardust into the sea. Good night, explorer.
Artlist.io.
You are part of this. You always were.
What we call sleep is only the turning of the mind toward its deeper questions. Anonymous.
Sleep well, question deeply. 51. The tides beneath ice. Enceladus and the ocean's fire. Enceladus, a tiny moon of Saturn, frozen on the outside, but underneath, liquid. Tides rise and fall in darkness, warmed by friction, not sunlight. It sprays water into space, a cry, a clue. Even in exile, life may stir. What else have you sealed in ice that still pulses underneath? 52. The dandelion's parachute, flight in fragility. It doesn't fight the wind. It uses it, one seed, a breeze, 1,000 miles, carried on stillness. Dandelions do not resist, they trust. What if letting go is also movement? 53. The forgotten metal, bismuth and beauty in decay. It forms in spirals, rainbows from oxidation, ignored for centuries, then suddenly adored. Bismuth is strange, heavy, non-toxic, iridescent. It breaks the rules quietly. You don't have to shine all the time. Sometimes you just need to tarnish beautifully. 54. The fish that sees up, 4 eyes in one world. Anableps, a fish with divided vision, one eye split above and below water. It watches 2 worlds at once, does not belong to either. Adaptation is not about blending in. Sometimes it's about straddling edges. 55. The lightning that crawls, sprite storms in the upper sky. You never see them from below. Sprites, red lightning that reaches upward, not down. They flicker above thunderstorms like secret prayers. The sky has layers you cannot know. So do you.
61. The beetle that reflects structural color and armor.
Some beetles wear metallic shells, but not because of pigment. Their color comes from layers, thin films bending light, an illusion made real. Their armor is beauty. Their beauty is science. You too reflect what's layered. What you show may not be painted on. It may be built from depth.
Reimagined.
62. The river that reverses Amazon's hidden tides. Once a day, the Amazon flows backward. Not because it's confused, because the moon pulls harder. Tides press inland. Trees drink salt. Nothing is fixed, not even direction. You're allowed to reverse, to change, to flow toward your source. 63. The insect that mimics nature's disguises. Some bugs look like twigs, some leaves, some thorns. They vanish in plain sight. Not because they're weak, because they've learned to be safe. Adaptation isn't always loud. Sometimes survival wears camouflage. So do people. 64. The noise that heals, pink sound, and brainwaves. White noise, brown, and pink. Soft, deep, gentle. Science finds that pink noise soothes, matches your brain's slow waves. It doesn't distract. It aligns. You don't need silence to sleep. You need resonance. 65. The seed that waits, germination and patience. Some seeds wait decades. They fall, they bury, they stay still. And then, one spring, they bloom. Not because the world is ready, because they are. Growth cannot be rushed, especially yours.
66. The bird that paints, bowerbirds and aesthetics. They collect blue, bottle caps, berries, petals. To attract a mate, male bowerbirds build art, not nests, galleries. Science once scoffed, but now we see beauty is part of survival. Maybe your creativity is not a luxury. Maybe it's instinct. 67. The sleep of bears, torpor and memory. Hibernation is not a switch, it's a slide. Bears slow, cool, drift, but they don't forget. They wake up in spring, remembering where they left off. Even sleep can be intentional. 68. The pressure of silence, deep sea stillness. At the ocean's floor, silence is heavy, crushing, endless. Creatures glow to be seen, stretch to survive. We thought nothing could live there. We were wrong. Pressure doesn't kill, it reshapes. 69. The echo that builds, elephant infrasound. Elephants speak below human hearing, rumbles that cross miles. They coordinate, grieve, remember, without shouting. Your loudness doesn't determine your strength. Sometimes the deepest truths are nearly silent. 70. The crystal that feeds, snowflakes and dust. Every snowflake begins with dust, something rough, tiny, overlooked. Water clings, freezes, expands, and beauty forms around imperfection. Maybe your flaw is the seed. Maybe that's where your elegance begins. 71.
The shell that listens, Nautilus and Fibonacci.
Music
The Nautilus spirals in perfect math, not by thinking, by being. Each chamber echoes a ratio, Fibonacci, nature's quiet signature. What if growth isn't expansion? What if it's repetition with grace? You don't need to change everything, just one line, curved rightly. 72. The salamander's sleep, metabolism in repose. Salamanders slow until nearly still. Their breath quiets, their blood cools. Yet life continues, softly, deeply. Not all motion is visible. You too survive in stillness, even when no one sees, especially then. 73. The cloud that thinks, weather and chaos. A butterfly flaps, a storm forms. Weather is not random, it's sensitive. Each cloud, each wind, memory in motion. Your thoughts too shift systems. Maybe you're not small, maybe you're catalytic. 74. The moth's moon, navigating by glow. Moths spiral toward light. They evolved for the moon. Now they find bulbs instead. Not wrong, just repurposed instinct. What pulls you now, and does it still guide you true? 75. The coral's clock, tides and time. Once a year, at the same hour, coral release their spawn across oceans without a signal, just lunar pull, warmth, time. They trust the moment, even in the dark. So can you. 76. The lizard that runs on water, basilisk's balance. Its feet slap so fast it skims across ponds. The basilisk lizard, impossible but real. It doesn't float, it keeps moving. What fear are you sinking in? Try running anyway. 77. The ice that burns, dry ice sublimation. Some ice skips water, solid to gas. No melting, just release. It disappears into breath. Not all change is gradual. Some things vanish on their own terms, like old selves, old fears. 78. The fruit that signals, ethylene and ripening. One apple ripens, then releases a scent, and others follow. Fruit communicates, chemically, invisibly. Ripening is contagious. So is readiness, so is courage. 79. The light in bones, biophotons in biology. Your body glows, not visibly, but truly. Cells emit light, soft, faint, biophotons, whispering at quantum levels. You are starlight, still speaking, even now. 80. The fire in your muscles, mitochondria's gift. Tiny engines, powerhouses, once separate life forms, now part of you. They burn sugar into motion. Your every blink owes them. You are not one thing. You are cooperation, ancient, evolved, embodied. 81. The mirror in the sky, ice halos and sundogs. Sometimes light bends through ice, circling the sun with phantom rings, sundogs, halos, visions in daylight. Not magic, refraction, beauty made from chill and angle. What looks divine often is physical. And what is physical can still feel holy. 82. The leaf that counts light, photoperiodism in plants. A plant knows how long a day is. It counts sunlight. And when the tally tips, it blooms. Not by clock, by photon.
Artlist
You don't
IO.
have to rush. You'll bloom when it's time. Your cells remember how. 83. The river in the sky. Atmospheric rivers. There are rivers above
Music
us,
licensing
invisible bands of water vapor. They carry storms, feed valleys, cross continents. You breathe under a tide you never see. Not all currents are ocean. Not all floods are failure. Some are renewal. 84. The feather that grows from skin.
IO.
Keratin and evolution. Feathers, scales, claws, hair, all from the same molecule. Keratin, shaped by millions of years.
Artlist
Your
IO.
eyelashes share ancestry with eagles. Connection hides in composition. We are less divided than we think. 85. The star that breathes. Cepheid variables.
Music licensing
Some stars
reimagined.
pulse. They grow brighter, dimmer, like lungs. Cepheids, our cosmic clocks, measuring distance by rhythm. Even stars breathe. And you, so small, so brief, match them, beat for beat.
Artlist IO.
86. The slime that thinks, physarum and problem solving. It has no brain, but it solves mazes. Slime mold flows toward food, finds shortcuts, remembers paths. Thought without neurons, wisdom without mind. What if intelligence is more humble and more vast? 87. The dust that builds worlds, cosmic particles. Before stars there was dust, tiny grains, spinning, sticking, becoming planets, becoming everything. You are built from what once floated, unseen. Tiny things matter, always have. 88. The whale's map, echolocation through time. Whales carry memory through sound. Echolocation is not just navigation, it's recognition, connection, echoes of migration. They sing paths older than maps. Perhaps your body knows where it's going, even when you don't. 89. The bacteria that listens, quorum sensing. They're single cells, but they count each other. Only when enough gather do they act. Quorum sensing, like revolution, like love. Change needs a threshold, then it unfolds. 90. The fire within wood, stored sunlight. When wood burns, it releases memory, energy once caught by leaves, sunlight saved in cellulose. So fire is photosynthesis in reverse, light returning home, so when you warm your hands, you touch yesterday's sun. 91. The voice of the desert. Singing sand dunes. Some dunes sing, a low resonant hum when the wind is right. The grains vibrate together. Not every sand dune sings, only the ones with memory. Friction becomes harmony. Maybe your silence hides a song, waiting for the right wind. 92. The drop that balances, surface tension and cohesion. A water droplet holds shape. Tension wraps it. A delicate skin made of force, too small to see, but strong enough to hold. You too have edges, invisible strength, soft but holding everything.
Artlist IO.
93. The tree that climbs itself, capillary action. Water rises even in defiance of gravity, drawn upward by vessels inside bark. Capillary action. No pump, no push, just pull,
Music
just
licensing
thirst.
reimagined.
What if your growth is the same? A quiet reaching. from root to light. 94. The glass that flows. Time in solids. Glass is not truly solid. It flows slowly. Ancient windows sag at the bottom. Time reveals motion, even when it looks like stillness. You are changing too, even now. 95. The plant that moves. Mimosa pudica. Touch it and it folds. The shy plant. Reaction without nerve. Defense through retreat. It is not weak, it is responsive. There is wisdom in withdrawal. 96. The egg that breathes. Porous protection. An eggshell looks solid, but it's covered in pores. Air flows in, moisture out. Life incubates within breath. Protection is not always closure. Sometimes it's permeability, boundaries that breathe. 97. The night that glows. Bioluminescent bays. Some shores shimmer at night. Organisms light up when touched. Movement becomes glow. The sea remembers every step. Even in darkness, you leave a trail of light. 98. The bubble that reflects. Thin film interference. A soap bubble glows with shifting rainbows, not from dye, from layers, light bouncing within thinness. Even fragility refracts wonder, beauty in breath's architecture. 99. The time before time. Planck epoch. There was a moment so small, time didn't exist. The Planck epoch. Before light, before separation, all things condensed, unified, and then expansion. Time began with becoming. So did you. 100. The pause that ends the story. You. You've wandered through stars and seeds, listened to glaciers breathe, watched fireflies blink like prayers. Now, at the end of this hour, a final truth. You are not the observer. You are the story. Fold into your darkness. Let it hold you. The universe has more to tell you, but for now, it is enough. Sleep well. You are part of this. You always were.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. 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 Artlist.io. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.